A wish list for the new Galaxy. The next Galaxy is soon about to come out, but of course it won't change anything if I now make a video, and also it probably won't ever change something if I make a video about the Galaxy. So now, here are a few points I want to have on the next Galaxy. Of course there are factors that I won't necessarily mention, because they are kind of good already. These factors are: the cameras are kind of good already. I'm recording this on the exact same phone. Not the exact same phone, but an identical model, you could say. Now, the back cameras are also kind of good already, I would argue. Of course, it is nice if they get better, but they get better even if I don't make a video about this. So therefore, here are my top 3 wishes. The first one is that I would like this port here, which is also known as the audio jack, to be on the next phones. Currently, it is not, and Samsung already ditched them. But why not just have one of these? It's very easy to actually then input audio. So what I'm currently using is a Zoom H6 up here, which then records directly into this here. And this means I can simultaneously charge my device and have audio input. It's insane. You can even put in headphones and then charge the device at the same time without the need for any adapters, which is ridiculous and insane. And it's a feature that maybe is the standalone feature, could be the standalone feature. I haven't upgraded my phones in years because of these reasons I'm currently establishing. The first one is a headphone jack. Headphone. I just write head. And then I have a hole for headphone jack. The second one is the thing you can actually do if you remove the SIM card. So you have to be very, very careful because you don't want to damage any of the trays. And what usually works for me is, because I've lost the original one, is this pin here. And then I just go in to the phone and there's this tray in here. And if I put in this thing here into this tray, there is not only the SIM card that comes out, but additionally, there is this innovation that has been happening in the last years. And this innovation is that there is storage which you can take out of the phone, and then you can insert it into your computer, for example. But what this allows you to do is to yourself modify how much storage there is in there. An additional very cool thing is that usually manufacturers price their phones according to the storage, which means a phone with a terabyte of storage might cost 150 euros more than the other phone. So if you decouple basically some of the storage, then you might get just a cheaper card. And also over time, you can just upgrade the phone with the card already. So this means you can get more storage even if you still have the same phone. It sounds insane, it sounds ridiculous, but it's just such a nice innovation. And also, if the phone, for example, dies, you can just take out the SIM card and the SD card. And then you can just use the files that have been stored on here, even if you cannot access the phone. It's cool, it's innovative, and I would like to have it. So therefore, I want to have an SD card. Actually a micro SD card on the next Galaxy. And then the third thing is something else. It also has to do with storage, and it also has to do with me having lots of different apps, trying lots of different apps. I want to have more storage, more internal storage, because one of the biggest things limiting how long I can actually use a phone in the past was usually the internal storage. So by having a very high internal storage. In this case, for example, I opted for 512 gigabytes of internal storage. But for the next phones, Samsung opted for less, and the maximum amount available was 256. What if a terabyte was the standard? Would it actually cost that much? Probably, maybe it would cost more. But if they don't offer even a terabyte option, then for people like me, who have a lot of apps and who sometimes have SIM cards or SD cards that actually don't work, which might be part of the reason why they got rid of them, in order to control more of the environment, the phone is actually working in. Because if the phone is slow because of an SD card that is in there, because a game, for example, is stored on an SD card, and the SD card is just a little bit too slow, then people might think it's actually the phone and not the SD card, because people probably won't be able to differentiate between the two. Often, maybe. So the third thing on here is big internal storage. In total now, to sum it up, I want a headphone jack as seen on the Galaxy S10. I want an SD card, a micro SD card insert, as seen on the Galaxy S10. And what I also would want is 512 gigabytes of storage at least, as seen on the Galaxy S10. They already did it in 2019. And then phones got, at least regarding these criteria got worse. The headphone jack is now gone, and I cannot just use my microphone anymore to input actual audio in there. I can't just very easily just connect it with an adapter, obviously, because you need an adapter. You already need a small adapter actually for the audio jack, while simultaneously then charge my phone. Independently, I can also transfer data while basically having my... It is the number of possibilities is just insane. Then we have the SD card, which allows me to store more on my phone. If I record these files here on my phone and I'm recording full HD, maybe in the future I might record 4K, maybe I won't. But if I constantly only have 128 gigabytes of storage and already the operating system on this phone, for example, actually, just the internal storage of the apps is 250 gigabytes plus the OS. So the only thing that is left is like 120 gigabytes. Maybe it's 250 gigabytes that is left. I don't know how much that is left. But the thing is that if I had a 256 gigabyte phone, then it would already be full as soon as I basically install all of the apps that are on here. And I try to not have that many apps on here. I actually am going more and more minimalistic, but there are just a few things you need. And if you don't even have expandable storage, and you have 256 gigabytes, and then you might want to download your Spotify library for once and record something, and the Spotify library already has 20 to 30 gigabytes, and then you want to record a few videos, maybe have all the photos of the last year on your phone, then this is something that just doesn't work out mathematically speaking. So an SD card would be great to combat this problem, and also big internal memory would be great to combat this problem.